Hi, I'm Kaku from Kaku's Kitchen, and today I'm actually in my kitchen. Anyway, like I promised last week, I'll be bringing to you today my husband's favorite recipe, and it's actually a Viennese dish called Wiener Schnitzel. But I call it Schnitzel for short, and lots of people call it Schnitzel. So today I'll be making, well, my husband and I will be showing you how we make chicken Schnitzel because it's a team effort. He's the better cook when it comes to making Schnitzel than I am. In addition to the chicken Schnitzel, I'll also be showing you how to make parsley potatoes because that's what usually goes with the chicken Schnitzel, among other things. So if you want to see how we make chicken Schnitzel and parsley potatoes, keep watching and I'll catch you at the end of the clip. What you need for this is 2 chicken breasts, a cup of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 large eggs, a cup and a half of breadcrumbs, a cup of vegetable oil, and some salt to taste. So to start off, what you need to do is to butterfly the chicken breasts, and for this you need to be careful so you don't slice off your hand. And the trick behind this is to put a lot of pressure on the chicken and to have your knife perfectly horizontal. And so from the 2 chicken breasts, we ended up with about seven slices of chicken. And then you slightly salt the chicken. So you put the baking powder in the flour, and then you put all of the chicken breasts in there and mix them all up. Make sure it's all of the chicken breast slices are covered up completely with the flour and baking powder mix. And then you stick all of them into the egg wash from the 2 eggs. We didn't use up all of the flour, so you just need to make sure you have a lot of flour to cover up all of the chicken breasts. And so you make sure all of the chicken breasts are covered with the egg wash, completely soaked in them, and then you cover it up with saran wrap and stick it in the fridge for at least 15 minutes so the egg can soak into the chicken, and then you go off and do some other things. About 20 minutes later, I come back and I pour in all of the vegetable oil into a large saucepan and heat it up. And you can tell that it's ready for the chicken when it starts to sizzle if you put in like some breadcrumbs in there. So next thing is you take the chicken out of the egg wash and make sure it's completely coated in egg, and then stick it into the breadcrumbs and make sure to press it into the breadcrumbs and press the breadcrumbs into it so that it's completely coated. It's completely coated with the breadcrumbs. So just press down into the breadcrumbs, and once you have that done, then you go ahead and put it into the very hot oil and just make sure to press it down, and then you stick all of the chicken breasts in there. And you can see that the oil comes up to about halfway up in the chicken breasts, and then just let that cook for a while. I think we let it cook for about 10-15 minutes on the one side, or maybe less, and then you move it around just so it's evenly cooked on all sides, and then you flip it over, and then you'll see that it's a nice golden brown color. The breadcrumbs have turned into a nice golden brown color. Then you flip it over and let it cook for some more time, about 5 more minutes, and then you take it off the stove and put it on some paper towels, and right away you sprinkle salt all over it. And once you put the salt all over it, then you dab it to take off all of the rest of the grease, and that's it. Very easy, very straightforward. Your chicken schnitzel is ready. Next up is the parsley potatoes, and you'll need a bag of red potatoes, a stick of butter, and some parsley. So first you need to really scrub the potatoes because we're going to cook them with the skin. So really scrub them well to get rid of all of the dirt and anything else that might be on the potatoes. And in the meantime, you bring a pot of water to boil and add a lot of salt to it so that the salt can get infused into the potatoes. And once you're done washing them, then you stick the potatoes in, and just be careful so you don't splash boiling hot water all over yourself. While that is boiling, you prep the parsley, and what you need to do is just to get rid of the stalk, because we only need the leafy parts of it. So this is how I prep mine. I kind of arrange it so you can get all the stalks off easily, and then go ahead to finely chop up the parsley, and this is what you end up with. And once the potatoes are cooked, in the pot that's been taken off of the heat, I just stick the butter into it and let that melt in the really hot pot. And while that is melting, I cut up the potatoes into quarters. You just need to be careful because the potatoes are really hot, and so don't burn yourself. And once they're cut up into quarters, I put them into the pot with all of the butter, and then put all of the parsley in, and then mix it all up really gently, because at this point the potatoes are really tender, and you don't want to end up just smashing everything in there, getting it all crumbled up. So just mix it in very gently, and that's it. Parsley potatoes. Very easy, very straightforward. Okay, so there you have it. It's a pretty straightforward recipe. There's two things I need to point out though that will help you when you're making this recipe to actually have it come out really well. The first thing is to remember with the breading, dry, wet, dry. So once you have your chicken or whatever type of meat you want to use, so maybe pork, first thing is to stick it in flour, so that's the dry. Then stick it in the egg wash, that's the wet, and then stick it in the breadcrumbs, that's the dry, before you put it into the fryer to actually fry it. So that's the first thing. Second thing I want to point out is that for it to come out completely cooked when you're dealing with raw meats, you have to make sure that first of all the meat is pretty thin, it's sliced pretty thin first of all, and then secondly you also want to make sure that it's not being cooked over really high heat, because if you cook it on really high heat, or if the meat is too thick, what's going to happen is that the breading will just burn and the insides of the meat would still be raw, and you don't want to serve anyone raw meat. You don't want anyone getting sick because of you. So we showed you how to make parsley potatoes as well as the chicken schnitzel. So that's usually one way of serving schnitzel, is with potatoes. It can be parsley potatoes, or you can serve it with, I've seen people eat it with mashed potatoes. I've actually had it with fries as well. So just the schnitzel with some kind of carbs, I would say. And you can also serve it with rice. I prefer it with rice because rice is one of my favorite dishes. So yeah, serve it with any kind of carbs that you'd like it with. And then also, my husband always has to have it with brazzleberry. I probably didn't say that right, but that's just cranberry sauce, or that's just cranberries. So like you saw in the picture that I showed earlier, you just have the cranberries in one corner of the plate, and then it's also usually served with, anytime you serve it, it's usually served with a slice of lemon or some lemon wedge or something, so you can squeeze the lemon juice all over it and have it taste nice and fresh, give it a little hint of freshness, lemon zestiness. Okay, so that's one way of serving it. And then one good thing about schnitzel is that it's a really good way of making small portions of meat go a really long way. So we started off with just 2 chicken breasts and ended up with 7 servings. We could have done 6 servings, but we ended up with 7 servings of food out of the 2 chicken breasts. So if you're trying to make a small portion of meat go a really long way, just schnitzel it. Now you know how to make chicken schnitzel, and you also know how to serve it with some type of carbs. So definitely go make some chicken schnitzel and let me know how it turns out and how much you love it, because I know you're going to enjoy it. And when you do, definitely tag me on Instagram, and then like and subscribe this video when you do.